Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, Dawn. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, ladies.
Yeah, so we've got our friends Dawn from Central Virginia and Robin from the Maryland, D.C. area, and super excited to have y'all in here today. And it was
Yeah.
great seeing you at the luxury event and learning and laughing and getting to know you even better.
That was so much fun.
Well, okay, getting kicked out of the ghost tour was kind of obnoxious, but
Hey, you know what? That was the worst ghost tour I've been on my entire life.
I would agree with you.
There was
I,
no ghost.
it was too much of a history lesson and nothing like it was like and he also didn't have a very good projecting voice. Should have had like a little microphone or something.
Well, when we got to the second one, he said, and he made that elaborate story, and it sounded pretty cool. I'm like, all right, I'm listening. And he goes, remember everything I just told you? Ignore it. I made it all up.
Well,
I'm like, that's not how this should go.
no.
I mean, it should be like, oh,
Like
um,
lead into something, segue into something.
at
Yes,
least
yes.
let me believe your lies for 2 seconds.
That's right. That's exactly.
Wow.
Well, anyway, tell me about the market, Robin. What are you seeing in your Maryland, DC area?
A
And you
little
are
bit.
in the DC area. I'm saying that correctly, right?
Yeah, I'm mostly Annapolis down through Southern Maryland. So
Okay.
if you're looking at DC, we're um, looking at DC. We're over to the right, and I do the western side of the Chesapeake Bay
Hmm.
down.
Okay.
So it covers 4 counties: Anne Arundel, Calvert, St. Mary's, and Charles. And it sounds bigger than it is, but um, so like my main market is
Hey,
Calvert.
Maria.
Hey, Maria. Um, and to be really honest, we're at about 20% inventory level
20%.
of where we normally are.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
This
so
morning, when
20.
I looked, we have 113 houses that are active on the market in Calvert that are not new construction.
Wow. So is a large percentage of your business new construction?
No, I mean, we have maybe 20 of those, but those are ones that aren't going to turn over quickly. And
That's right.
most of the builders will not start the house until they have a solid contract.
Yep, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that too. What are you seeing, Dawn, in your Virginia market?
Well, I cover Northern and Central Virginia and expanded in the last 5 years because my clients are starting to move further out since COVID, don't need to be near the city or public transportation and all that. So I've kind of just followed my clients out. But since pre-pandemic, not 2019, our inventory levels are down 62%.
Yeah, wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. We have a supply issue here, not an
Yeah, we
interest
do too.
rate. Not an
Yeah.
interest rate issue. People are still buying. They've settled into the rates. It's just a supply issue. As a matter of fact, I ran my team's numbers this morning, and 94% of their sales this year, whether it was listings or buyers, have all been multiple contract scenarios.
Wow.
94% of our deals this year.
That's
Yeah.
awesome though. I mean, because I mean, then the market's still up. You're right. There's inventories low. Yeah, our inventory's low too.
Yeah, so it's just really tough for buyers out there right now. But we're getting it done. But still, that's I don't know if that's around for everyone else, but just our team just happens to have great listings and buyers pick really nice properties, and they're all multiple contract
Well,
scenarios.
that's awesome. So where are you getting the listings from? Where are the sellers coming from? And then where are they moving?
Most of my stuff, I've been selling for 28 years. Most of mine are repeat clients, referrals, and then a lot of my listings are downsizing and retiring or relocating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what a lot of our listings, most of the ones I get listed are moving back out, right? So usually we're very much of a designation area, all tropical right here at the beach. So people tend to move in when they're retiring. And then once they hit a certain age, that they need to be back with their family. If their family hasn't moved down by then,
Right. Right.
then that's where we get them starting moving out.
Yeah, and we have a lot of Capitol Police that when they retire, they move down to Wilmington.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah,
It's a very, have you been? Have y'all been to Wilmington?
I haven't, but I have a few clients that live down there.
Well, come down and visit them. You could stay with me. I've got 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs that I've never slept in, so it's completely.
All right, Don, road trip.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's do it. I
yeah,
have
we're gonna pick each other up and come on down. I'm not that far. We drive.
interesting enough, my sister-in-law was my real estate partner for 20 years before she retired and moved just southeast of Wilmington. She's in the Seaport area,
Yeah,
Holden
Southport.
Beach, Holden Beach. So we go down that way often. I love it.
I love it down there too. And that area is a little bit more sleepy, but it's beautiful and everything seems to be growing out in that direction. Kind of like you were talking about how your service area got bigger because people started moving out. That's what we're doing too. And but Brunswick County beaches, everybody loves.
And most of my sellers that are retiring, leaving early, downsizing, they're going North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. That's pretty much it.
Well, then I know a great referral agent, the best one in the area in Wilmington, North Carolina.
I do too.
I wonder who.
For everybody listening, so the vision of this broadcast originally was to hit clients, but what I found is it's mostly agents that are watching it. So know that the agents that I'm interviewing are the top agents in the United States in their respective areas. So if you need an agent in Maryland or Virginia, these are the ladies to call. And if you forget, then contact me because they're on my list and I can send you a list. I literally have everybody in just about every single state, every single city in the United States. So that is part of our job, right? Networking within agents too.
It is, and the good thing about Don and I is we pretty much have the outside DC area completely covered.
Right.
Because where my area stops, hers picks up, so we don't
So y'all
overlap
partner
each
a lot?
other.
Yeah.
I am licensed for Virginia, but we don't overlap each other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We just do the handoff. It's like, all right, you help out, and same thing. And
And then a lot of people, when they're coming to this area, they're not sure if they're either military or government. They're not sure if they want Maryland, DC, or Virginia.
That's
So
right.
you need to have someone that you work with that can service
That's
that.
it. There's versed in all those areas. We have the two of you. You're absolutely right. I would agree. So what are you telling, what's your advice to buyers right now? As we talked about, interest rates are up, inventory is low. Dawn, you mentioned your buyers aren't skipping a beat. They've kind of realized that the interest rates are what they are. But what's their advice for them? Either one of you.
I heard an interesting stat last week, and I'm going to start using it, not to scare them, but just for them to understand this is really what's happening. Everyone's expecting interest rates to go down in the next year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So if interest rates drop by 1%, 5 million more buyers can qualify for a loan.
Wow.
So listen to this again. So if you think it's tough right now with the lack of inventory and the pricing, if 5 million more buyers can qualify for a loan with 1% drop in interest rate, it's just the prices are going to continue to go up. There's going to be more competition. So I'm just telling them, if you find the house now, go for it. You have a better chance, and it'll probably cost you less in the long run.
Well, absolutely. And another thing is you don't have that necessarily bidding war because last year it wasn't fun at all. And people would be like, Jennifer, where should I break the offer? And I've been in the business 17 years and it was the first time in 17 years. I mean, I'm very much of a numbers person. I can usually sit down and tell you statistically what you should bring that offer in and what percentage it's going to get accepted. And but last year there was no rhyme or reason. Right. So you were just like, how much ever you want to pay for it?
I'm like, pick a number.
So if the interest rates go down, you have more qualified buyers, right? But I also think you're going to get that influx where it's going to drive those prices back up.
Yep.
Now, right now I share my story with my buyers. I'm like, I just moved. And I was able to get under contract on the house I bought within 24 hours of it hitting the market. In a prime location. Yes, I went over asking, but the thing is, the house was so crazily underpriced.
Yeah.
Even with me going, and I know this number is going to scare people nationwide, but welcome to the DC area. I went 50,000 over asking, and the house still appraised for $8,000 more than I paid for it.
Yeah.
So that
I-
tells you this house was almost $60,000 underpriced.
yeah. I just bought a house July, actually. We were right at 2 years.
Okay.
And we went up 45,000. But there were 4 offers on the table, and 45,000 plus I said no commission to lower that off of it as well. So it ended up being closer, I think you're right, closer to 50 or so, but I got it. And my neighbor is in the process of building a 1.2 million, which is almost twice as much as I paid for mine from before.
Well, and that's the thing is, I mean, yeah, I still took commission.
Yeah.
So, and then the house I sold, I had 3 offers on it and sold it for I sold it within $2,000 of appraisal,
Wow.
and the buyer paid $15,000 of my closing costs.
Wow.
So but the way I see it is, yes, my mortgage payment doubled for the same price house because my interest rate.
Sure.
However, the rates are expected to be lower. I'll make 6 payments and then refi.
That's exactly right.
But I didn't have to write a big fat check between where it appraised and where.
That's right. Cover that gap.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, what advice are you telling sellers? Like, I had a seller today. I just got back from a listing appointment, and they said, "Do you think I should list it now, or do you think I should list it?" They were thinking in spring of next year, or possibly later on in the year. And I can tell you what I told them. But what's your advice you tell people when they say, "Should I list it now, or should I give it a couple months?"
I'm telling my folks to go ahead and list now, because you may have more competition in the fall and next spring. Right now, there's so many buyers, especially in our market, still waiting for places. So it's still, we're not having a seasonal slowdown like we normally would. Everything that's going on in the market that's priced correctly and, presented correctly is going really quickly, multiple contracts. So why wait? If you have to sell, go ahead and sell. Don't wait.
So what are you telling your people, Robin? And I'll tell you what I told mine.
So right now we're dealing with the death, divorce, downsizing, and transfers.
Yeah, that's right.
So those are the ones who need to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we have on the market. So occasionally I get someone that says, "What do you think I should do?" And I'm like, you have no competition now.
That's right.
Take advantage of it. I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah,
if I did, I'd have that lottery ticket tonight.
That is exactly what I tell people. I said before, like 2019, pretty much my entire life, I have an opinion on everything, and I love sharing my opinions. And I always think that I'm going to be right. So in 2019, I had decided we were getting ready to hit another recession. It was going to be the bottom of real estate. COVID hit. Certainly you thought that would have, lowered the interest in real estate, but it didn't. It peaked it. I mean, and I said, after that, I am not giving anybody my opinion. I don't know. I know what is happening today. And today we're having a kick-ass market that you should list right now, because we are still getting, not as many, but we still are getting multiple offers. And sellers are having to do a little bit less. I mean, I am starting to see sellers are starting to do more now than they did last year, which they needed to. But I know what the market's today. I don't know what it'll be like in 3 months.
Exactly.
And it's, and again, I go back to my personal experience. I took advantage of the market now.
Yeah.
I also got very lucky at a house that was significantly underpriced. That was where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And so I got lucky on both sides.
Yeah.
But for my buyers,
she's our friend.
I have a buyer who's going to go to settlement next week, and I got that one 7% below asking price, and the first week it was on the market.
Yeah. Well, I had a new build, and I haven't seen this in years, that I got under contract the other day, and we got $12,500 towards closing costs that the builder paid for the buyer, which I haven't seen in years. So I think people are starting to work it back out, right? Which is good.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to drift towards a normal market.
Yes, which we haven't seen in a couple of years. It's interesting because a lot of the agents I don't remember the statistics. I think it's like 92% of the agents right now have only been in real estate since COVID. They've never seen they've never seen a market where, because when I first got in real estate, our average days on the market were 9 to 12 months. I got in the market in 2007. You know, they would sign a year listing agreement, and I would hope that I could sell it in a year.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, it's like when I started in 2007, we were in Connecticut and we were going down 2% a month
Yeah.
because the market had already crashed there. And I'm like, best buyer's market ever.
Yeah.
So
Too bad I
Dawn,
didn't have hindsight and scoop up a bunch of homes at that point. But
Well, I feel like I was selling in 2008. That slowed down to 2011 or whatever. I feel like I'm starting to almost have the same conversation with my buyers now that I had with my sellers then. I used to tell my sellers when everything was sitting on the market for a year or more, like, listen, you need to like me and trust me, because we could be in this for the long haul, and this relationship could last longer than some marriages. You know,
well,
so you
come
got
on,
to
Don,
know
do you
that
have to be there?
yeah, you got to know if you don't hear from me every day, it's not because I'm not doing something. It's
That's
just
right.
because that's the duration. Now I'm doing that same conversation with my buyers. Listen, just because you don't hear from me 3 times a week, it's just because I don't have anything to show you.
That's
I'm
right.
looking every day. As soon as my phone pings with a new inventory, I'm checking it out to see if it's for you. So I'm having that same conversation. Say, listen, it could take us a year to find you your
Yeah.
proper property, or you know what you like, or it could take 3 days. And I'm also telling my buyers too that I just had it happen with 2 first-time home buyers I worked with in the last 2 weeks. I only showed each of them twice, 2 homes each, and they both wrote, and we got the properties. They're like, oh my gosh, is it too soon? I'm like, well, how many houses have you looked at online? They're
Yeah.
like hundreds. I said, so don't be afraid to buy that first house if that's the one when we meet in person.
Especially, and in this market, you can't sit there and hover over it for too long because it'll be gone. I mean,
Right. Right.
well, Dawn's broker gave us a great stat the other week when we were all together. What was it? There's 1.6 million realtors nationwide and about 900,000 listings nationwide.
wow.
Yeah. Well, he just broke that down for us last week. We have in Northern Virginia, not even further out central, but Northern Virginia, we have 18,000 realtors. We're expected to have only 28,000 sales this year.
Wow. I don't know. I heard like Florida has like was 120,000 realtors. I
Wow.
mean, something Jason Panis last week was saying it's a crazy number. Holy cow. I think North Carolina has like 84 realtors, 84,000, not 84. We have 6,000 in our marketplace. But you know what? I've decided if you don't know what to do, you become a realtor, right? And about 1% of those realtors are actually good, which is why it's super important to take the time and to do some research on the real estate agent that you use,
Yeah.
because it is our profession. And so many people get in it and they do it part-time, or they do it just to buy a house or to help a friend. But in the long run, you're not helping a friend if you don't know what you're doing. And if you're not selling 20, 30 homes a year, every year for 15, 20 years, you don't know what's going to happen in this market and you don't know what to ask for. So I think education is super important, right? And everybody's a real estate agent, but hell, not everybody's good.
Right.
Well, and the big thing right now is, this is a conversation I'm debating right now is someone's like, well, and I'm not going to get into numbers, but they're like, well, this person only charges this in commission to sell a house. Why do you charge this? I'm like, because of the value I bring to the table. I fight so hard for you that by the time either the extra money I put in your pocket or the money I keep from going out from your pocket ends up paying half my commission.
Yes.
So I definitely want to make sure that I'm giving you the best value. So if you're
That's
looking for
it.
the cheapest person, that's not me. If you're looking for the best value, that is me.
Okay, so it's like this. I don't know. I'm kind of a meat snob, right? Like when I go, I'm not going to buy my steak from Walmart because I know it's not going to be good. But I'm going to go and buy like a nice piece of
Yeah.
quality meat, right? Not that real estate agents are. This is a horrible analogy. As soon as I'm saying this, I'm realizing what a terrible analogy this is. But my point being, you pay for what you get.
Right.
And I think
Exactly.
I know for a fact that I am the best in the area and I could show it to anybody. Give me 5 minutes of your time and I will prove to you in real hard data exactly what my stats are and how much more money I can get you than anybody else because I do have a huge pool. And like just in my database, I think we're up to 32,000 active buyers in our database that we're marketing to. And that's just like one of the 121 things that we do to sell homes.
And I mean, it's very simple.
And it's so much harder than just
Combine
putting
my
a sign in the yard.
experience.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, the thing I love about both of y'all, because I mean, we're friends outside of this crazy world, is we go to the events, we learn, we brainstorm with people across the country. We figure out what's happening in other markets so we can be prepared for what's happening here. And then when you
100%.
find out that someone's got, come up with a new trick that
But
is
it's
making
a
their
spin.
clients have a better experience or is saving them money or time, we implement it. And we
That's
learn
exactly
from
right.
each other all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think those conferences, I've only been going to the conferences about going on 4 years now, but I find them so valuable. I mean, just the agent can agent connections, but also learning it's really cool to meet with the
Yeah.
top 100 agents in the United States and figure out, hey, what Robin is doing in Maryland versus what, Mark Cruz is doing in Denver, Colorado,
Yeah.
and figuring out how to make that implement it here in our area. It's fun, it's exciting, and it keeps us cutting edge.
For sure.
And that's all we can do. So
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, the real estate business is continuing to evolve. I mean, I started back when you didn't have social media. So it was a contact sport, literally. You had to be out at the public events, the community events, at the football games on Friday night. I mean, you really had to establish relationships with people
That's right.
to be successful. And, for the newer agents, the invention of social media and stuff has been great for their business to get their name out there and stuff. But I almost feel like we're back to such limited inventory that now we have to go old school again. You
Yep.
have to go do those pop buys. You got to get back to those relationships and stuff because there's so many agents in the business and it's critical. People really appreciate the personal touch.
Toes to toes, nose to nose.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, and it's amazing to me when people talk about like the iBuyers and all of that crap, because I work so hard for my clients. And when I come into a home, I've been doing it so long and I've sat in through, I mean, at this point, like 1,400 home inspections. I can pretty much tell that I am not a licensed home inspector, to be clear, but I've been doing it so long that I can pinpoint areas of concern, right? So I'm able to go through a house and say, hey, look at this crack. That looks like structural, or look at the floors. That's an indication that you might have water in your crawl space. And, I'm able to go in there and really walk them through the process. I think it's important to have, I mean, there's always rumors that real estate agents are going away and everybody's, going to be replaced with Amazon. But when it comes to buying a home, I mean, it's the largest investment of your lifetime. You need somebody fighting on your side that knows what the hell they're doing.
yeah, I mean, it's not like a car that if you hate it, you can return it within 3 days.
Yeah,
This is where you're going to put your family.
Yeah, you do that generational wealth. You are growing generational wealth. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a place you're going to come home to every day. And do you want to walk into buy a house that, you got talked into?
That's exactly right.
And it's just, we're in the people business. We
Jason,
are
I just gave you a shout out 5 seconds ago. I hope you heard it.
we're in the people business. We're not in the house business.
Yeah.
To quote, the guy in California, say, this is all about people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is. It is. And anytime that they try to take it and think it's not, then there's like what a $60 million billion lawsuit with the
Yeah.
iBuyer because people were not represented. So I mean, it's important. I mean, you are buying the largest investment of your lifetime. It's important to get somebody in there who knows what they're doing to help you through that process. I'm
That's the
sorry.
one thing that concerns me with this lawsuit against NAR is if NAR loses it, what's good if listing agents are no longer sharing commission with buyers agents, what's going to happen? Are the buyers going to suddenly have no representation because they don't have the cash to pay?
Yeah.
Is this something we'll be able to negotiate with our contracts to say, listing agent will agree to pay? I don't know how that's going to pan out.
I don't
Um,
either. In your MLS, can you tell how much the buyer's agent's getting paid?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it has in ours too, but I was interesting to find out like Colorado doesn't put what the commission is.
Oh,
And I'm
really?
like, well, how do you know?
Well, you can't sort it by commission because
No.
some
And I
agents.
would never do that. But I actually like when we go into contract, I have my buyers and sellers initial the MLS form so everybody's clear, like there's no question about how much money I'm going to be
Yeah.
making. Everybody knows it, acknowledges it, and is proud.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Yeah, it is a fact.
And but like, to be in the MLS, you only have to offer $1.
Yeah.
Has to be some kind.
I saw that recently. Somebody paid, I mean, holy cow, Maria. Maria, I was talking about you at lunch today with the owners of REMAX Executives. I'll call you later. It was all good. Said you were a
Yeah.
spitfire. It was good. But now I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like I was saying, it's my concern is that we're going to go back to the 80s where buyers did not have representation. And I think they need it equally as much as a seller does.
Oh, hell yes, they do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. And then have y'all found, because I do find that even in a multiple offer, I think we have like 99% of my offers get accepted, and they're not always the highest. But I think because I've been in the business so long and I have a good reputation, even within agents in the area, that if you get two offers in and they look just alike, and one agent you don't like or you don't know or they're brand new, you're gonna go with the one you like, that you know and you love, and that you know they're gonna closed.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the lender too is just important when I review the multiple offers.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, well, most of the time I'm calling lenders at 8 o'clock at night as I'm reviewing offers to get all the data together so we can make a decision.
Yeah.
And if I can't reach your lender at 8 o'clock on Sunday night,
Right.
you may not get it, because if we're trying to make a decision before the end of the night, then, because I'll give everything to my seller, and then, then I'm sorry, I'm like getting distracted. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
I know it gets very distracting. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. So, but if I can't, we'll review everything, and they'll give me their top 2 or 3 that they like the most, and I'll call those lenders so we can get it signed off on.
That's right.
And if your lender's not available till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, you've lost.
So I had 11 offers. I was representing the seller. The seller comes into my office at 5 o'clock on Friday, and we sit down with all 11 offers, and I present them all at the same time. And we kind of make a spreadsheet so that we can look at all the variables, because as you know, it's not always, I mean, price is a motivating source, but cash versus a VA loan. I mean, there are a lot of different variables within that make it more favorable. So we were making a spreadsheet. We were going through them, and before that, I had called every agent and every lender, and I said, hey, I needed updated pre-approval letters. I needed proof of funds, whatever it is that they needed to get to me. I needed it by 5 o'clock because we were sitting down and we were going to go through everything at one time. But I had one agent, and they had put on the contract that it was cash, but the letter was from a lender, and it said that they were approved for a conventional loan. So I tried to call the lender, who didn't answer the phone. Then I sent an email and text message and call to the agent. And I was like, hey, listen, on the offer, you say cash, but the letter says a conventional loan, and I need to make sure I'm presenting the facts. They said, it's a cash offer. I said, great. I need to see proof of funds. They said, we don't feel comfortable giving you that. Right. My seller threw it away.
Yeah.
My seller's like, they're not going to, how do I know if it's cash if they're not willing to prove to me that they have the cash?
Exactly.
You know, but they also complained to the real estate commission, which was super funny because I had this particular seller mark through every single offer and write rejected and date and time it because I knew that somebody was going to end up, and this was before multiple offers. This was like 2 years ago. But anyway, I knew somebody was going to end up complaining about it. And I had even taken a picture of her doing that. And I've sent everybody the same copy, you know, that she had written rejected. But it was interesting that they had written a letter to the real estate commission complaining, and the real estate commission responded, all the documents show that Jennifer asked you for proof of funds and you said no.
Right.
There's no reason why she should have accepted that damn offer.
So
we just believe you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Brenda, which is another thing I have to tell people. I'm like, don't get your feelings hurt. Like the seller doesn't know who you are. You need to show that you have to show them the proof of funds. I mean, it's like any other deal, right?
So a third of their market is still cash offers.
Yeah, we're seeing more now than ever, really, in the past year and a half.
Yeah.
But you're starting to see VA and FHA now, which is nice because we're starting. And I have not done any assumable loans yet. Have you?
No.
No.
I'm a little
but I heard an interesting tidbit today, and I've had two people who are on active duty confirm it. The PCS budget is now out of money. So PCSing has been put on hold until beginning of the fiscal year, October 1st.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going to happen with those that have orders and they need to be somewhere, or those that have already sold their house and they're in the process of buying.
Yeah.
I don't know, because one person was telling me today, do not know for a fact, that they were going to have to pay for their own move and hope to get reimbursed when the new budget was out.
Oh, crap.
But it's like, how can we let our military be in a position that you're told you have to be somewhere and report there, and now all of a sudden they go, sorry, we don't have the money. Figure it out.
That's horrible.
Terrible. Unbelievable.
And, again, one not so factual source was saying this has been a problem for the last couple of years because with COVID, they had dramatically reduced the budget.
Oh, wow.
So,
you're saying that's not true? You're saying that's not accurate?
Huh?
You're saying that's not accurate?
I don't know. It was, I've had two people tell me today that it is accurate that they're out of money.
I was sending Maria because she's like so engaged in this. I just sent her a text and said, join us. Come on, jump on.
Yeah. But my ex and I never had a problem with, okay, so yeah, Jason just said military is only releasing critical billets for funding for move.
Wow.
Yeah. So nice. Thank you.
Yes. Good, Jason and Brenda.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes, get answers to our questions right here live. If anybody else want to inject, please do. We're learning.
Well, I've had some great luck on my listings recently with VA appraisals. And I mean, I had one in Centerville that we listed at 700, and I was nervous about that price. And it had a pool, perfect timing on the market right before 4th of July. It went 50,000 over list.
Wow.
There's no way. There's no way this is going to appraise. And it did.
Yay.
It did. Yes.
So are you starting to see your prices are still going up, or have they leveled off now?
They're still going up.
Yeah.
Are they going up? Like, because last year, we were going up 29%, but this year it looks like 2 or 3, 4% every month consistently.
Yeah.
I just
more of a normalized market.
I just priced out a listing that I'm hoping to get. When I met with them 6 weeks ago, it was 5% less than what I'm telling them now.
Less?
Yeah, it was five. No, I take it. Yeah, it was about 5% less a month, 6 weeks. So it's gone up 5% now.
Wow. That's what I tell people. If you want to buy a house, just do it. You just
Yeah.
need to do it because interest rates, whatever, I mean, the prices are still going up. You could always refinance. You could do a 5-year arm. I mean, lenders are really stretching all their limits to try to make sure that there are affordable options. And then every lender I've spoken to lately will also do they'll refinance up to 5 years for free. So that is really nice because it's what, about $1,500 savings,
Right.
Yeah.
you know?
So what are you guys telling your sellers when they ask, oh, with such little inventory, do I need to do the fresh paint and the new flooring? I know what my answer is, but
So that's a good point. So here's what I tell everybody. People, if they live in the area, they're going to drive by the house to see it before they ever pick up the phone, right? So curb appeal, super important. I'd say pressure wash, paint, put fresh flowers out, make it pop. Then for us, I put the lock box usually on the front door. When I'm fiddling with that lock box, it takes 10 or 15 seconds, right? Buyers within that 10 or 15 seconds, they're looking around, anything that they can see. And if you have a spider web, if you have a messed up light, if you get that kind of stuff fixed, because they know it and they come in and they automatically think something's wrong with the house if you haven't taken time to pressure wash or done the minimal things, right? So I think that, yes, I recommend those things, but I just got back from an appointment for about an $800,000 house, and she was asking me, should she change the countertops because they're corian, or however you pronounce it, and she wanted to know if she should go up to quartz. To me, that I didn't think mattered. What do y'all think? Like, to me, yes, freshen up, spruce it up, clean it, paint what you need to paint. If it's broken, fix it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to replace the countertops.
It's got to be in move-in condition. Yeah.
fresh and clean. But we're finding in our area, if they do the new flooring and the fresh paint, maybe some new lighting to update it, we're seeing 2 to 3 times the return of the cost. Just because of the lack of inventory. If people feel like they can move in and don't have to do anything, they'll take an older countertop as long as it's clean.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. I said, in the house, because we had gone over some specifics, mainly the front yard and things that she needed to do. But the countertops, I mean, it was a huge kitchen. I mean, I thought, like, with real hardwood floors, everything extremely well maintained. She had just had the entire house painted. I mean, to me, it's like, I mean, I don't know. But I definitely tell them to go ahead and get it ready.
Yeah.
Go ahead and clean up and box up and clear out.
Yeah. I've got one house that's getting ready to hit the market hopefully next week. And it's going to be a $900,000 house in an area that can go a little over $1 million.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that have the completely renovated kitchen. We don't. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
But right now he's got contractors going through and fixing all the mess that the tenants didn't take care of. So the house is going to be in pristine condition and it's going to show amazingly well, but we're pausing during this time to get it right. So when we hit the market, we've got the best chance at multiple offers.
That's right. Well, and I was sitting there reading Andrea's comment, and I agree with you. The problem is she didn't want to do the appliances. So to me, it's like, if you're going to do it, do it. Because I said I thought she should have her cabinets painted. I thought, like, if you're going to, but she was like, no, I'm only asking about the countertops. And if you put in nice quartz countertops, those black appliances are going to look like shit. Like, if you're going to spend it, I think you should.
But I mean, at that point, it's sort of like wearing diamonds with a T-shirt.
Yeah. See?
Hey, you know?
That's right.
No. Yeah. You either break out the cute black dress with the diamonds, or you just put on a little chain.
Yeah, that's right.
You know? They got to blend.
That's right. So then in closing, so you're still seeing prices go up. You're still seeing days on the market. What are your days on the market doing?
Our median days on the market are 8. Average days on market are 27.
Wow. And is it from contract to close, or is that just like before it goes under contract?
before it goes under contract.
Yeah. So ours is 45, but that's contract to close. That's
Yeah.
from the day it got listed to the day it closes. It's actually 52, I think now.
See, ours are all over the place.
Yeah.
You've got some that you've got probably a third of them that multiple offers gone 7 to 14 days tops.
Okay. So that's back to condition. I'm assuming that's location, price, condition.
It's got to, you have to have it priced for the current condition and current market.
That's right.
If you test it, you're on the market 28 days plus.
That's right.
And once you hit that point, you're paying closing help. You're
Yeah.
doing all the repairs.
Yeah. That's
You
exactly
are into that. And it's like I explained to my sellers, when you test that market, you will end up selling it for probably 5 to 10% less than where I asked you to price it to get it sold in the first
That's right.
place.
Right. Yeah, tell people it's a red flag. If it's on the market too many days, it's a red flag. And then if you have a major price decrease because you didn't listen to us, that's another red flag.
Mhm.
So you're setting yourself up for failure just because you think your house deserves 20,000 more than everybody else's in the world.
Yep. Yep. And it's like, I mean, I would have loved to have sold my house for $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Tell everybody, more money you make, more money I make. Hell, that's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't find anyone that stupid.
Is y'all's average sales price up from over last year?
Oh yeah, yes. Ours is at 475 this year. Last year was 325.
Oh,
Yeah, ours is, see, some of my agents still do the lower end because in our area, our prices range from 200 up to 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all over the place.
Yeah.
For me, I'm pretty much around 500 for my average, but as a team, we're at, barely 400.
Yeah. What about you, Dawn? Are you seeing the prices have gone up?
yeah. They not as much in the other years, but definitely up. Like air detached home average sales price is 944 this year.
Wow.
Last year it was like 928 or something. So slightly up.
So your average home's $1 million?
Detached.
What's a
Air
detached
average,
home?
just single family.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But our
That's a
average
lot.
sales
You're
price of condos,
single family?
condos, townhouses, and single family, our average sales price is 728.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, ours is not. Ours is 475 is our average for
Yeah,
our area.
we're not in that area. So
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like if you go down closer to Patuxent Naval Base, the average is going to be 300 to 400. Somewhere between the 3s and the 4s. If you're in Southern Calvert, again, it's 3s to 4s. But then the closer you get to DC, the higher the average sales price.
Yeah.
When you get to the top end of our county, usually that's going to be your 600 to 700. But it can go all the way up to a few million if you're on the water.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's us. If you're on the water, I mean, we do have the $1 million properties. And like I said, the listing appointment I went on was a nice one, but not that often.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, Jason, we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And not all of us can have Northern Virginia prices.
That's right. I was talking to my friend Aaron in Washington, Seattle, Washington, and his average price like 1.4 million. I'm like, oh, so you sell like 5 homes a year.
Yeah. And that's what I'm like, dang, for that one,
Yeah,
you sell like 10 houses and you had a great year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
So
like,
it's all relative.
Yeah.
Well, I just sold
all right,
one
we're doing
today.
20 for that.
I just ratified one today in Central Virginia for 285. So, I worked the 2 different markets.
Yeah.
So basically 200 to 3 million on up. But
Yeah, that's awesome.
when I was talking my stats today, I've been doing Northern Virginia. So
Yeah. Well, no, that's good. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. And if you in the social media world, if you are in need of an agent in the Maryland or Virginia areas, those ladies are the best of the best of the best. And in the meantime, if you have, except for Dawn just went out on me.
okay, all right.
Okay, she's really still there. We're just having technical difficulties. But and if you want agents anywhere else in the United States, I definitely have connections everywhere. So we are global, which is amazing that we could do that. But and if you have any questions buying or selling a house, one of the three of us would certainly love to help.
Thank you for including me. This was
I'm
fun.
so glad you
This
came,
was fun. I appreciate it.
Dawn. You're like a ghost.
I don't know what happened.
It's all black. I don't see anything.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Well,
so-
thank
Anyway,
you.
we all
This
go
was
have a
fun.
good.
Have a
What'd you
good
say?
week.
That's not here either. Well,
yeah. Well,
Have
have
a
a
good
great
week,
night
everyone.
and see you soon.
thank
Bye.
you. Bye, guys. Talk to you
Bye-bye.
later.